measure yourself against someone else. These people 99% of the time are fake. They are driving cars they don't own, and they are in homes that they don't sleep in, and the clothes that they have, many times they're taking them back the next day. And watches, they're all basically fake. All that stuff is a lure to make you think they're successful. If they're successful, they'll prove it by showing you they know what's going to happen in the marketplace. But strangely enough, that's the thing they don't ever do. Don't feel insignificant by contrast, because majority of the people you see out there, they're fakes. They're frauds, and they aren't what they claim to be. Match your style to your personality. This is something I picked up from Larry Williams. It made a lot of sense, and I avoided doing it for a long time, and I wish I would have done it sooner. But if you're a scalper, okay, you're going to do very well if you make quick decisions. And that's as simple as that. If you hem and haw about trying to make a decision and you want to be a scalper or a day trader, it's going to be a problem. And if you short-term trade, typically you're the type of person that can take a trade and sleep while you're in it. That is a real good general rule of thumb. If you can sleep while you're in a trade, then you're probably a good short-term trader. Don't force yourself into any mold. There's gurus, there's mentors, there's people out there that educate, and unfortunately they try to take everyone and press them into this mold, this cookie cutter approach, and it doesn't work. Avoid doing that. Don't try to copy someone. Their style, their image, their forte, their approach, their vocabulary. You see where I'm going with this, don't you? So many people out there on YouTube now sound a lot like ICT. Don't try to copy someone. Be original. Make your own unique model. Don't change trading approaches. Stick to one approach, one method. Master it, and then see how you work with it. That means you're going to have to spend some time with it. Most people don't want to do that. Avoid system hopping. Okay, and the trap is, if you take a trade and it loses, but if you take another trade and you lose, that's it. I'm throwing this away. This is stupid. This method doesn't work. I did that a lot. And I went through all kinds of trading systems. And that's the reason why I went through all kinds of trading accounts, because I wasn't consistent with anything except for system hopping. That was my only consistency. The baseline of my consistency was all around me not being consistent with one trading approach. Many traders fail at that. Every model loses. You're going to have to accept that. I mentioned it earlier with risk. You can't avoid it. It's part of the business. Treat it like a normal transaction. When you go to work, if you get sick and you miss a day's work, that's a loss. Did you lose your job? No. Did you lose your house? No. Did you have a little less money that week? Yeah. That's life. Well, that's how trading works. Losses are inevitable. You're going to have them. Find your unique model and grow from it. Don't tweak it too much. Once it's profitable, stick with it. And then what you'll find is, by using a more advanced money management approach, if you have a method that gives you a delivered result that's measurable and it's consistent enough that it does it more times than it doesn't, if you add impeccable risk management and money management to that, you will become wealthy. End of story. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's the way it is. But you cannot get to that point until you go through all these other steps that are very, very boring, admittedly, but they're all part of the process. Settle on one trade setup initially. Determine your asset class. Pick one market asset class. It's a commodity, it's an index future, it's a forex pair, it's a cryptocurrency, it's a stock. Whatever it is, stick to that one asset class. And inside that one asset class, pick one market. Outline when you want to buy. That means what's the criteria that you feel comfortable with when it's a buy. And then outline that and make it as detailed as possible. Put it on paper. And the same thing with you when you want to go short. What's the characteristics and circumstances that would drive you to believing it's a short? And with that, you want to build many study journal cases. Notice I said not live trades with real money. You want to have a study journal that has a plethora of examples of where this worked in the past and when it didn't, and study them at great lengths. So that way you get familiar with what it looks like by recognition. And then when you see live price action, you'll recognize it as it forms. Now, with all those things, you have something to start with. And now you can plan your beginning.
Wow, what you just learned here could change the whole approach to trading. Are you ready to take the next step? Your next big insight is just one click away.